Monday, November 17th, I have 10 orders to ship out. Let's get to work. If you're thinking to yourself, 10 orders does not seem like a lot, you are absolutely correct. I typically have like 15 to 20 to ship out on Mondays from weekend sales, but last week I only listed 18 items for the whole week. Just, life happened. My daughter was sick. Seemed like one thing after another was piling up. So I didn't get much listed, so I don't have a lot to ship out. If you don't list stuff, you don't sell stuff. Okay, first thing we'll come to 841. I sold Mastering Linear Algebra. Let's see here. It is the guidebook and DVD. I've got less than $1 into these. They sold for $34.99, free shipping. Okay, we're going to B52 next. I sold a tiny bottle of perfume. This one right here, Tender Poison by Christian Dior. This is only 5 milliliters. And this one, I took a best offer of $28.37, free shipping. All right, we're going to D31 next. I sold some pint glasses. It is U.S. Air Force. I got a bunch of these at a garage sale maybe 6 months ago. I won't take all 4 of them out in paper, but that's what these other 3 are. I got these, let's see, I think I've got right around $1 each into them. It's been so long since I got them. I got Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy. I think I even got some Coast Guard ones. They've just got a really cool graphic to them. Each branch has a different graphic. I've sold a handful of these. I think I'm maybe at the break-even point right now, and I've still got, I don't know, 100 or so glasses to go. Took a best offer on these for the 4 of $23, free shipping. Coming to A33 next. It is a double XL Carhartt hoodie. Yep, this one right here. This is a little bit of overflow. This is the deal. I'm selling the stuff for my buddy who has the embroidery business. So we're just splitting the money on these. So for $39.99 free shipping, and it is going to a viewer named Patrick. And I will throw in some stickers for you, Patrick. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Okay, I sold Bach in the High Baroque in C43. It's another great courses. I'm really pleased with how fast these have been selling. This one is the guidebook and 4 DVDs. I've got under $3 into these. They sold for $24.99, free shipping. Backtrack a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how I pack these glasses. I've done it in a previous video, so I'll just kind of mention what I'm going to do. Anytime I have glassware like this, if there's space inside, I put packing paper in there just to kind of absorb any kind of shock. Then I will bubble wrap each glass. And then what I like to do is I take some scrap cardboard and I wrap the cardboard around the bubble wrap. So it kind of like gives it a sense of like a double box. I'll do each glass like that. Then I'll put all 4 of those into another box. I will not make much money on these. It will take a lot of time, but I just want to make sure that the buyer is happy and that they arrive there safely. That's what's important to me. Okay, next thing's a video game. You guys have been seeing me sell a bunch of video games from that bulk buy. This is a ColecoVision flashback. I was shocked when I saw how much these things are going for, because they've made a lot of these flashback things like the Atari and the Sega. There's just been a bunch of them. And the ColecoVision has some really good value. This one sold for $149.99, free shipping. Go to D51 next. Another piece of clothing from the embroidery deal. This is a Nike. This is a Nike women's quarter zip. New with the tags. Sold for $19.99, free shipping. Going to C52. Sold a Carhartt sweatshirt. This one does not have the hood. It is 2XL. Make sure it's 2XL. I'm shipping out so many of these things that I'm trying to be extra careful that I'm getting the right sizes out. And it is a 2XL, so for $29.99, free shipping. Okay, next thing is hiding back here. Let me move my photo mural. I sold this vintage solder, however that's pronounced, audio video storage tower. It holds 161 CDs. And as you can see, when they made this, they were showing that it holds VHS tapes as well. So this thing is definitely 90s. It's possible that it's early 2000s. And believe it or not, people want these. CDs, cassettes, VHS, DVD. People want this like kind of throwback looking storage. Don't ask me why. I think the wood grain looks ugly, but people like it. I got this at garage sale for $10. It sold for $99.99. free shipping. All right, we're going to C43 next. Guess I could have pulled these when I pulled the Great Horses. I sold this big lot of Jackass DVDs. That's 8 of them. I got these from Josh, Mojo Casher. I got that big lot of stuff. This lot of 8 sold for $24.99, free shipping. It's Tuesday morning. I have 5 orders to ship out. First thing is up here in B21. You know what? I think I sold 2 things out here. So let's just bring the box over. I know I sold this. I'll have to look and see how much I sold it for because I took an offer. And I also sold a set of 6 glasses. Kind of got them wrapped in here, but I'll at least pull one out so you guys see what it is. These are vintage Dairy Queen glasses. They definitely have that MCM look. My buddy Michael gave these to me, actually. He's like, yeah, you can have them and sell them. I said, thank you very much. So I got them listed and sold them for $39.99 free shipping for the set of 6. And this one right here, I just got at a garage sale last weekend. This is a cooking system for camping. Got it for 20 bucks. Took a best offer of $65, free shipping. Next thing is an Intellivision flashback right here. You guys saw me sell the ColecoVision flashback, and now we're selling the Intellivision. And this one didn't sell for as much, but it still sold for a lot, which I am just really, really shocked how much these are going for. This one sold for $119.99 free shipping. All right, next thing is a arcade like shooting game, like a projector thing. And I'll be honest, well, I was about to say I don't know where it is, but I see it up here hiding. I have listed this thing a long, long time ago. Let me see if I can wiggle it out of here. It's always Q4 when this stuff sells, right? You have it listed for 9 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, and then finally Q4 hits and it sells. This is definitely old technology, so the buyer probably just has nostalgia for it, I guess. I don't know. This sold for $79.99 plus shipping. If you're wondering why I did plus shipping on this and free shipping with everything else, it's just because this is an old listing. I think in the last 6 months or so, I changed virtually everything to free shipping, and I just bake in the cost. So if I think it's going to cost about $15 or $20, I just bake that into the price of the item. So if I was going to do free shipping with this, I probably would have listed it about like $100 free shipping. Some of you are probably thinking to yourselves, what if it ships cross country? Isn't that going to cost you a lot more? You're absolutely right, it does, but I sell thousands of items over the course of a year, so it really averages out. Yes, I ship some to California or Oregon or Washington where I'll do free shipping, and yes, the prices are a little bit higher when I do that, but I ship a lot in the Midwest and the East Coast and South as well, and then the shipping isn't as much. So in my experience, it balances out. All right, last thing is a super cool sale. Where is it? B32. And it is in this box right here. This was part of that big perfume buy that I made earlier this year, and I have just been doing really, really well with it. So I almost looked past this. There's been so many boxes of little samples and things, and I'm really trying my best to look them all up and make sure there's not any gems in there, because lo and behold, this was a gem. Marquet Prince Duca, I'm sure I'm butchering that. This was imported from France, and I guess this little cape here is what makes this thing kind of valuable. People like the bottle. Took a best offer on this for $50 free shipping. All right, I got my orders packed up, and I wanted to jump on HiBid.com to show you guys something. They are not sponsoring this video. They haven't paid me to talk about the website. I just really enjoy it, and when there's no garage sales to go to, I do a lot of online shopping, looking at auctions, storage things, just whatever, and HiBid is a really good place to find some stuff. Before I go into my watch list and show you guys what I'm bidding on, I will show you kind of how you search if you've never been to HiBid.com. HiBid is basically like eBay for auctioneers. I think you might have to have an auctioneer's license to sell through HiBid. Most of what you're going to see is either estates or people bringing stuff to an auction house. It feels like live in-person auctions have kind of just disappeared, which sucks because I really like going to auctions, and they've kind of been replaced with this. So what you want to do is put in your zip code. I will put in my zip code right here, and you can change the miles. So we'll just say 100 miles, and what it's going to do is pull up all of the auctions within that range. So You're not bidding on one individual thing. You're going to find an auction that's going to, you go to the catalog. So this one's blinking because it is actively ending. Let's see. So like for instance, HP Pro Notebooks auctions. This is in Batavia, Ohio. You click on the catalog and then you scroll through here and it'll show you all these bids and it'll show you when it ends. You can watch it, bid on it, do whatever you want. Word to the wise, pretty much every single auctioneer is going to have some kind of bidder premium. So what you want to do before you place any kind of bids, click on auction details and it will show you, see, here we go, 12% buyer's premium. You need to factor that in when you're bidding. Also factor in sales tax, whatever your local sales tax is, because these auctioneers are going to have to charge sales tax. So if I'm paying a 12% premium and my local sales tax is about 7%, I'm just going to, chalk up an extra 20% planning to bid on that. So let's say I wanted to bid $340 on this, add on another 20%, which is $68. So 340 plus 68 is going to be 408. So I'm trying to do that mental math before I place a bid. Just a word of the wise so you're not surprised when you bid on that stuff. Another thing I would highly recommend doing before you bid, you can look at the company you're going to bid from. So this is Asset IQ LLC. I don't think that HiBid allows you to leave reviews. Yeah, I don't see anything about reviews on here. So it's good to just Google the company. Sometimes they'll have something on Google Maps, and you can see what Google reviews have been left for the company. Just make sure you're dealing with a reputable company, because sometimes these places are just fly by night and they're just ripping off everybody. So you just want to do your due diligence. But yeah, as you're scrolling through here, there's all kinds of auctions. So this one looks like maybe an auction house. Like here's an estate, 367 lots. So you can really clean up with this stuff. What I like to do is find an auction that has a lot of stuff that I want, especially if it's going to take, 30 minutes, an hour, or however long to drive to the auction. I want to make it worth my while. I want to get a lot of stuff in one spot. Looks like all these end tonight. I'll go and show you guys what I'm looking at. So there is an auction. You guys have heard me talk about Justin, Beyond the Door. I buy a bunch of stuff through him. Some of this is things that I'm bidding on, and some of it is just things that I'm watching, that I've listed and I'm selling through him. So I'm watching it to see what it sells for. I never bid on any of my items. Don't ever do that. Even if it's, quote unquote legal to do in your state, don't do it. Don't bid on your own stuff. It's show bidding. But yeah, you can watch it. You're not harming anybody, just seeing what it sells for. So this is everything that I'm watching, and it's really cool when it ends. It'll like tick down and be flashing and showing you if you're the high bidder or stuff or anything. The software on HiBid is pretty solid. I like it a lot. If you guys want to check out HiBid, see what it's all about, I'll put a link to it down in the description of this video. So Wednesday morning, I got 9 orders to ship out. First thing is in D21. I'm going to pull the whole box because I think I sold multiple things out of here. I know that I sold both of these games. My son wanted Super Mario Smash Brothers for Switch, and he wasn't playing these games anymore. So I was like, hey, do you want to sell these and put it towards the game? And he said, yeah, sure. So I got them listed and sold them both. Super Mario Odyssey, super fun game, by the way. If you haven't played that, highly recommend it. That sold for $34.99 free shipping. And Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze sold for $29.99 free shipping. Also sold this Sony Cybershock. This is the DSC H300. I got this at an estate sale about a month ago, and I got it in a bundle deal. So I've got about $20 to $25 into it. That sold for $69.99 free shipping. I also sold an Atari power cord. I got multiple of them in here, so I gotta be careful that I ship the right one. Yeah, this is it. CO16353. This sold for $19.99 free shipping. Keep an eye out for these. If you find any kind of power cords that are very specific and niche and OEM, meaning original equipment manufacturer, look them up. You know, sometimes they have some value. People are looking for this old stuff because they want the original power cord to go with whatever it is they have, in this case, the Atari. One last thing out of this box that's sold. I got it wrapped up here. It is this 1989 Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil coffee mug. I just got a box of Looney Tunes mugs at a church sale last weekend. I paid $15 for all 6, so I have $2.50 into each one. I went to list them yesterday, and I noticed that this one was selling significantly more than the others. And I noticed some of the titles put Christmas Vacation, and it dawned on me that Clark Griswold drinks from this Taz mug in the movie. Kind of ashamed of myself that I didn't notice that when I first saw it, because it's my favorite Christmas movie. That movie is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, this thing is selling for some good money. I took a best offer on it for $75 free shipping. Not a bad return for $2.50. Coming to D31 next, I sold this Thrustmaster. Actually, you know what? I sold 2 things in here. Let's just pull the whole box. I think the first thing that's going to be easier to pull is actually the controllers for ColecoVision. These are the Super Action controllers. It's a pair of them. See, these sold for $49.99 free shipping. And this Thrustmaster sold. This is for Xbox and PC. If it had the foot pedals, it would be worth a lot more, but without the foot pedals, it sold for $44.99 free shipping. And I just picked it up at a garage sale last weekend for $5. All right, we're coming to B41 next. I sold some glassware. It's kind of funny that I sold these because I just sold a set of 4 of them over the weekend. And then I delisted 4 more because I had tons of these, and they sold again. Again, it was an offer for these Air Force glasses, set of 4. Sold for $20 free shipping. I've got about $1 each into these. We're going to B52 next. I sold a tiny, tiny bottle of perfume. This is Dune by Christian Dior. I mean, look how small it is. Teeny tiny. I think it's only like 5 milliliters. Yeah, 5 milliliters. Took a best offer on this one for $31 free shipping. Thursday morning, I have 7 orders to ship out. We are starting in D51. I sold a Great Courses, Greece, and Rome. I think it's 4 pieces. Yeah, we've got the guidebook and 3 DVDs. I've got less than $2 into these. It sold for $19.99 free shipping. Next thing is a bat, and it is hiding way back in here. This is going to be tricky. Let's see. Let me move this out of the way, and then label this thing out of here. I really should get better storage for my stuff like bats and golf clubs. I've had this for quite some time. I mean, probably 6 months, 9 months. I know I got it for $5. It has a few little chips on the paint, but there's no cracks or dents or structural damage. Needs a new grip, obviously, but I always let the buyer put a new grip on if they want. I don't waste money putting a new grip on. This sold for $39.99 free shipping. Even if you don't do free shipping and you do calculated shipping, if you've got something long like a bat or a golf club, whatever, make sure that you are putting UPS or FedEx as the shipping option, because if you put in the dimensions and it's 34 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches, and you give them the option of like USPS Crown Advantage or Priority Mail, they are going to get an insanely high quote for shipping, and they're not going to buy the item because of it. But if you put in the dimensions and the weight, and you put in UPS Ground or FedEx Ground Economy, then they should get a reasonable shipping quote. So just word of the wise, don't shoot yourself in the foot over the options that you're giving your buyer. You want to give them every reason possible to buy your item. Sold another little bottle of perfume. I'm doing really well with these little bottles. This one is Givenchy Organza, or Organza. It is EDP 5 milliliters, and this one sold for $29.99 free shipping. Okay, we're going to C42. I sold another hoodie, another Carhartt hoodie. This one right here, it's a large. I actually sold this once, and it got returned, and luckily they left the tags on there, and there was no issue. I think it just didn't fit right for them. And it resold, this time for $35 free shipping. Okay, next thing is a pair of roller skates, and I did not put a custom SKU code in. So now I'm wondering where they are. It happens sometimes. I just have a little lapse in my thinking. Oh, there they are. See, it doesn't take that long to find them. All right, so these are roller derby. I got these at a church sale probably like 3 months ago, and they were cheap. They were like $1 or $2. I've had them listed since I found them, and I've had a few watchers, but no takers. Somebody sent me an offer of $31 free shipping, and I accepted. All right, next thing is hiding. I just listed this thing, and to save space, I kind of wedged it back in here, and I knew as soon as I did it, I'm like, watch, this thing is going to sell like right away, and sure enough, it did. So let me set the camera down and dig this thing out. Here we go. This is a Toyota RAV4 cargo liner, and I got this at a church sale last weekend or the weekend before. I only had to pay $7 for it. I love finding floor mats. You guys have heard me talk about it over and over and over again. OEM, the original floor mats or liners or rubber, whatever, for cars. I love finding them because you can almost always find them for really cheap. And there's plenty of buyers out there that want the original stuff for their car. This one sold for $69.99 free shipping, and it already has some indentations where it's been folded. You'll notice when I fold this, it folds and it stays folded. So I'm going to fold it over, ship it in a box. It'll be fine. It's rubber. It's not going to get hurt. Just a little FYI for you guys. If you find mats and you're wondering, hey, what year are these from, or you know, what car do they go to, you can almost always find a code somewhere on the mat. So let me see if I can get this without the shadows hitting it. Right there, PT 908-42135 cargo tray. So that's how I knew to look this up and figure out what year it was for. Last thing going out today is in C43. It is a little watch. This was in that big lot of perfume because this was a giveaway. So if somebody bought $49 in Giorgio Beverly Hills collection, they got this little watch, and it has a lock on it. The lock is the watch. It's pretty cool. I don't think I'd want this thing dangling around my wrist, but you know, to each their own. That's all for $24.99 free shipping. It's Friday morning. I got 3 things to ship out. Forgive the mess in the warehouse here. I picked up some auction winnings yesterday, and they're just kind of all strewn about. I haven't put everything away yet. We're going to C41 next. I actually sold 2 things out of here. I sold this jersey, and I sold all of these Magic School Bus VHS tapes, and I don't think I can grab all those with one hand. So we're just going to bring the whole box over. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 of these. I got these at a garage sale about 2 months ago. They had VHS tapes that were 3 for $1. And you guys know anytime I see a lot of one thing, I'm going to look it up on eBay. So for these, what I did was I searched Magic School Bus VHS lot, and I just did a kind of like a quick search of like a sell-through rate, and it seemed like they were selling and for pretty good money too. So I've got less than $3 into these, and the lot sold for $39.99 free shipping, and they'll go media mail. This is the other thing I pulled from that box. This is an old Cincinnati Stingers jersey. It's youth size. I think this might have been a stadium giveaway way back in the day. This is an old hockey team, now defunct hockey team. They weren't NHL. They were like one level below NHL, I think. I got this at a garage sale over a year ago. I've had this for a long time, and it just sat and sat and sat, and like I haven't had any takers. I paid $5 for it, and somebody sent me an offer yesterday of $12 free shipping, and even though I'll probably lose money or maybe only make $1, I'm just happy to move on from it and let somebody else enjoy it. Fun story about the Stingers. When I worked at Play It Again Sports, I worked with a guy named Blaine Stoughton. I'll put his picture on the screen here. That guy was absolutely hilarious. He was a former NHL player, and he played for the Stingers at some point in his career. He was a good player, too. He even had more goals than Gretzky one season. I think he had like over 50 goals one season. But he had the most amazing NHL stories. That guy was an absolute hoot. So yeah, if you want, look up some Blaine Stoughton stuff. Good guy. Okay, last thing, we're going to D41. I sold a taxidermy scorpion. Where is it? It's somewhere in this box, hiding from me. Here we go. This is a scorpion paperweight, and I got this at a sale at least 3 or 4 months ago, and I remember paying a couple bucks for it. Stuff like this that's just unique and different, I can't pass up. It's not super valuable, and I didn't make much money on it, but I just like buying this kind of stuff. I had it listed for $25 free shipping. Somebody sent me an offer of $19 free shipping, and I accepted. Before I end this video, I have a question I want to answer. This comes from Chiloe Mountain Pickers. When you list with free shipping, do you do all 50 states or just 48? The reason I ask is I have lots of items in my store with free shipping, and I recently got burned on a Craftsman battery charger for a drill that went to Alaska. It was listed at $19.95, shipping was $11.75, cost of goods was $5. After fees, I may make $1 if I'm lucky. Yes is the answer to your question. I just do the 48, and you go into your settings and change it and all that stuff. I'll get on my computer and do like a screenshot and show you guys how you go in and change it if you don't want to ship to those states. And it really only makes sense if you're doing free shipping, because if you're doing calculated, you know, it'll calculate for them what they have to pay. That way you're not just excluding Alaska and Hawaii. Okay, real quick, I'll show you guys if you want to exclude Alaska and Hawaii. You just come up here to your account, you hit account settings, and then you come down here to shipping preferences, and you'll scroll down and you'll see exclude shipping locations. You can see that I have 2 for domestic. You can exclude international as well. You just hit edit and you tell them who you want, and look, they've already got it. They're like, we know everybody wants to exclude Alaska and Hawaii for the most part, so they've already got it. You can select that, and then you can change different international ones. You can even exclude PO boxes, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'll just hit save and you're good to go. Easy peasy. All right, one more question. This is from John Imbarado 5833. Question: what did you do for work before reselling, and what thermal printer do you use? Thanks. So I've been a full-time reseller since 2014, and before that I was in sales. And I was good at it. I was making okay money, but I didn't love it. Like, I really wasn't passionate about it. And I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit, so the thought of just running my own thing was really appealing to me. And for my thermal printer, this is what I use. This is the Dymo Label Writer 4XL. It does 4x6 labels. I've had this thing for a long time, and it is fantastic. It shoots labels out really fast. Here, I'll show you. You just tear it, put the label on, you're good to go. It's not cheap, but since it's thermal, you don't have to get any ink or anything like that. You're just paying for the labels. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link for it down in the description of the video. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.